Hi everyone and welcome to the Search by Libra Media. 2018, it has flown by very quickly and this is a year in review. This year has been very challenging on a personal level and I started to learn many things about myself and this year has been very good. Uh, Mainly because I moved out of my comfort zone in NYC. It was a good experience. I started to learn how to do things on my own, and it was very eye opening for me because before that, I never did things on my own. This is generally speaking, and also it opened me to new experiences like living with roommates and talking to people of different nationalities and assimilating in the culture in a different culture. Uh, Now it all these things are very new to me and it took some time to adjust to it, frankly speaking. It took at least a couple of months, and also the fact that I lived in Dubai for a significant portion of my life meant that I was not used to cold weathers. So that was a huge challenge as well. So it took me until March to get used to cold weather, and also the fact that I had to move to I moved to a new environment entirely different to what I knew before. Things were not always as convenient as Dubai, and partly because I lived away from my parents, and partly because it was just really, really fast paced in New York City. And there were so many things I took for granted in New York City, and I realized I took for granted. In fact, first of all, the fact that no home cooked food was a huge deal. I mean, I still miss my mom's biryani. And I miss my mom's biryani at the time. Uh, it was it was challenging. The food part was challenging, and but NYC has a huge selection of food, so that I never had a problem with different cuisines as such. Uh, it was just the fact that the realization that I would not be able to eat my mom's food for at least 8 or 12 months. I mean, I came to Dubai for a week. It's vacation in between semesters, but again, for the best part of 8 months, I was not used to my mom's food, and you know, I learned a lot of things there. My teachers were very good. I learned the value of having a good education, and I felt like I learned something, and that is really, really important. A lot of people take education for granted, and sometimes they're good teachers, and sometimes they're bad teachers, and the bad teachers can sometimes make you feel like education is a scam. But I don't think it is. When you're exposed to teachers who are like of high quality, uh, you learn not just the subject, but you learn more about yourself as well, what you're capable of, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your limitations are, what you could improve in the future, about yourself. Okay, uh, I would say that look, I have got my stuff done on an educational level, like getting my degree at NIFA, but it's always the experience, individual experience that counts. Yes, it's good, it's great, it's good for, good that, an additional level of education has been completed, but then it's always experiences that are unique to each person the, uh, around the campus for every student, and living away from my parents is really, really hard at first, especially. Uh, I had to pay my own bills. That was obvious, and I had to sort out some things related to housing. Of course, I had some sort of financial support from parents, but and that was helpful. It was really, really helpful, and I'm very grateful to my parents for that. And I made some good friends of different nationalities and different all sort of different ethnic groups and all that stuff. And assimilating into the culture has was a challenge at first, and but then it helped me understand different perspectives of how different people think, and that was really really important. Uh, you know, I was in this class where I was the only Indian, and at first I did not know how to interact with people of different nationalities. I'm like, oh God, what do I do here? Um, who, who do I speak to? Who do I reach out to? Which person will be helpful? What can I do? How can I contribute to their work? How do I do things? All these questions were in my mind, but as time passed by, I started to integrate myself into the way the campus worked, and it was good. And in the acting for film program, this I was in the spring batch in 2018, so I was the only Indian in the acting for film section. Yeah, so there was no other Indian to help me acclimatize to the whole campus and just in general. So I had to figure that out on my own as well. Of course, my classmates helped me and a little bit, and it was good. Some of them helped me a lot, some of them helped me a little, and it's how it is. Uh, of course, I started out doing comedy, and that's a story for another time. And my teacher helped me out with that. So it was in February when we had this comedy night at NIFA. Actually, in January, that was the first comedy night when we had our orientation. So like during orientation time, there was this comedy night at NIFA, and all the new students were invited to it. So when I saw people perform, I was like, look, I want to do this as well. I want to try out this new thing, which I've not done before, and I'm in a new city and I'm getting a new start. So let me just try out something new. I went in with the intention of doing this, and by February, I talked to different people within campus who are in the acting film section, and they're also doing the stand-up comedy during comedy nights, and the teacher involved. And I started doing stand-up comedy in February 2018. I did a couple of shows in NIFA, and then I started moving out of NIFA and doing shows there, open mics and bringers and all the other stuff. And I performed in various clubs in NYC, comedy clubs in NYC, and also a few places in Dubai as well. Since I've come back to Dubai in September 2018. Uh, when I came back to Dubai, in fact, I realized how different things were from what I knew, and I have started to be more thankful for things around me. Of course, not just my mom's food and the the place that I've been living in Dubai, but just small things that God, everything is fine. Everything is great in Dubai. Everything is good. You know, my health is good. There have been a couple of incidents which have happened in NYC, and where I thought I would not make it through, but but fortunately, I pulled myself together and made it through those situations. It was housing situations mostly, but it was a great experience. It was a good learning experience. It was not fun in the short term, and in some ways, it was not fun in the short term. Uh, but it was a good learning experience. And I celebrated my 21st birthday in New York City, so I'll always have that. I will always have that. Nobody can take that away from me. And it was a good experience. It was just like this nice bar sort of thing, a bar slash restaurant. It was a nice place, and it was a good experience. The year has ended. I learned a lot of new skills and a lot of new activities which I started to push myself into. And this is just the start of something new, something big, hopefully. And I personally hope that I can carry it into 2019 as well. And I would just like to end it on one note that whatever happened, good or bad, the past is the past. Move on to the next step, the next year. The new year is something which will help you to hopefully reach where you want to be, and keep moving forward, because time doesn't wait for anybody, and it's up to us to move forward, really. And thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel as well, and goodbye.